So when you think about the hamstrings, we don't always think about the hips, but the hamstrings have so much to do with the placement of our hips because of where they attach. So the attachment side of the hamstring is up at the sitting bone, ischial tuberosity. And when they're tight, they will pull the pelvis into that rounding position. That's why if you're in a seated forward fold and you really tighten your hamstrings, your whole body rounds and you kind of rock forward. Yes, we want flexion, that's true, but we want to be able to find extension and fold from the hip crease and then surrender. So you don't want to be having all this sensation pulling on your lower back, not good. But that's what will happen if the hamstrings are tight. So open hamstrings helps us to keep our pelvis properly aligned. So this is why it's important if you find that maybe there's sensation in the lower back in the forward bend, you bend your knees a little bit. If you're in downward facing dog, you bend the knees a little bit to get more length through the spine so that the hamstrings are not pulling your pelvis into a posterior pelvic tilt, that rounding, everything is rounding, right? So see if there's a mindfulness now that can come to the poses that require the hamstrings to be open. Notice if there's a lot of strain on the lower back and say, okay, I need to bend my knees a little bit. Or if you're seated, you can also put a bolster or roll up a blanket underneath your knees too. You can do that too if that's something that's comfortable. But either way, just know that it's really important to open the hamstrings in a gentle way.